As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have Formula F machines heading out onto this storied stretch of tarmac here. It is the SCCA National Championship Runoffs in its 60th running. Our coverage presented by Mazda. We are ready for the run to the gold in Formula F. I'm Greg Creamer. Hayward Wagner will be covering the activities down in the pit lane. And joining me for this is Larry Lefty McLeod, another recent win at the Solo Nationals. You've got a room full of medals and trophies from that. But we are ready for Formula F here at the Runoffs. And this is, Lefty, one of my favorite classes. I cannot wait for this one to unfold. And we've obviously got not the size of the field that we'd like, but the quality at the front is off the hook.
It's a very deep field this year, and the racing among these cars is always fantastic. I would expect nothing less today, especially at a track like Road America. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is a drafting class and one of the greats to be sure, and this is a drafting momentum track as they are heading out here. And, we got a problem here. I think he was just trying to get his tires warmed up, and the car just scooted on him. That's the number
Robert
62
Gross.
of Robert Gross.
Yeah.
But real quickly here, let's talk about these cars, then I will get through the field here. One of the interesting developments is we've got a couple of people have sort of gone back to the future, if you will,
yes.
and have gotten rid of the more modern cars and gone back to the old Swift DB6 with Ford power.
Yeah, and we're going to see one of those. We saw the win last year. Nolan Aller was the winner at VIR last year in a Kent Ford powered car. Well, this year we've got one of the ones in the field. In fact, he'll be starting on the front row here, Jonathan Kotek, and I think that could be a bit of a story here today. But as we have these cars, otherwise they're generally spec, and I think that really what makes for such great racing. Oh,
it does, no question. Let's take a look at the track map here, Lefty. And again, this is 4 miles and 14 counted corners here. That first sector, which is from turn, the start finish down to the exit of 5, it's all high speed.
Yeah, this place has the nickname of the National Park of Speed for a reason. Yeah. Everything is fast. The corners, even the slow corners, are fast. That first turn in really comes up on you. Turn 3, there's a little bit of camber down at the apex. Important to be down there. But the run from 3, that's where we'll get our trap speed all the way down through 4 into 5. And then it could get interesting in this class, and these cars in particular. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are going to be a lot of moving around these guys, maybe trying moves to try and position themselves, because that's the twisty bits, as we call them. And then you get into the high speed carousel down through the kink and all the way down to Canada. And I put it that way because these cars are going to be nearly flat the entire way through there. Could be a lot of passing setup into Canada Corner at the bottom of the hill. And then they'll come out of that digging for turn 13, the Bill Mitchell Bend, and into 14 and wait for that last lap. It's going to be a doozy because these cars from 14 to the start line, they can make passes.
Yeah, 14 is critical twice a lap. So it's that important. Let's take you through the starting lineup. On the pole is Calvin Couch, and of course he comes from a family that has had a lot of success in Formula F over the years, driving the number 88. That is one of the Piper super slippery cars. On the outside of the front row, 4-time gold medalist and still a youngster, sports cars picked to win a 5th, the number 5 of Jonathan Kotek, and he's the one who has made that switch back to a Swift chassis with a Ford power plant. Starting inside of row 2, the 81 of Theodore Burns. He was picked by Sports Car to finish, that Sports Car magazine, I should say, folks, to finish 3rd here, and he's driving a Kelly Moss prep Piper. Starting in the 4th spot, one of the rookies in our field here, Antonio Costantino. He is also driving a Piper in the number 3. Then starting 5th, another rookie, the 23 of Tasio Stefanelli from Rockford, Illinois, in a Spectrum. Then starting in the 6th spot, the number 4, William Ferguson. He is driving another one of the Pipers, powered by Honda. Starting in the 7th spot, another rookie, but this is a guy who's picked by Sports Car Magazine to finish in 2nd because of just the outright speed he's been showing this year. We'll talk more about that. The number 80 of Sebastian Mateo Naranjo out of Edwards, Illinois, driving a Megale Honda. Starting in the 8th spot, the 96, Nathan Down in a Swift Honda. Starting in the 9th spot, a rookie, the 33, Demetrios Konstantinidis out of Chicago, Illinois. This is a home track for him in his Van Diemen Honda. Starting in the 10th spot, another rookie, the number 8 of Michael Dowden in a Piper Honda. Starting 11th to 75 of Jay Messenger in a Van Diemen Honda. 12th to 48 of Eric Polson in a Piper Honda. And then we saw the number 62 of Robert Gross out of Washington Township, Michigan, in Detroit region in his Piper Honda. That's the field. And interesting, that Swift DB, it was the Swift DB1 that was the first car that came out with the inboard suspension, and understanding these cars needed to be slippery. The DB6 improved on that, obviously. Originally came out as a Continental, and then people started to use it as, when the cars, now all the cars carrying onboard. But this track, slipperier, the better.
Slipperier is the better. Any kind of horsepower that you can pull out. What's going to be interesting is our pole sitter, Calvin Couts, is running that Halo, which is the only time you see that. It's very new. In fact, I just a little bit ago talked to Calvin's father, Tim, who owns the car and used to be driving this car, was very competitive in this car for a long time. They went through a lot of engineering developed to create that Halo. They've worked a little bit with, they're going to be working with the rules makers eventually to figure out how we're going to make this thing into club racing. This is it's a lot of iterations to get here. From an aero perspective, it's pretty good. It's a high weight. It's 20 some odd pounds up at the top where you don't want it, but from a safety standpoint, it's really what Father Tim wanted for son Calvin. But we'll see if that has any part. Not sure it will. What will be interesting is the Honda power of the field, except for that Ford Kent that Jonathan Kotek is out there in that Swift DB6.
I think it's a great development, and hopefully that will be just implemented here. But here we go, 13 laps, and the run for the gold in Formula F. Called that now because along with the Fords, you can run the Honda Fit engine. And so that is why it is now called Formula F here as we are getting ready for the start. And again, you see just how steep this climb is. And these cars are really quick, but again, very much momentum cars. They don't have massive horsepower in the back. And we talk about turn 14 being critical twice a lap on this track, primarily because of this climb. Here we go. Coming up to the start. We're green. Runoffs, run to the gold underway in Formula F. Going 3 wide for a minute there, realizing with those outboard wheels. And now a big dive to the inside. And they weren't going to wait very long. And what a move by Teddy Burns. Goes from third to the lead, sneaks through, and a change of the lead right from the off. Now watch him fan out down into 3, and Burns has enough of a lead there, Larry. He's going to be able to lead Couts through 3 and get a fabulous run on to the parade sweep.
Well, I was told that down on the grid, everybody was sitting there with their tires exposed. Except one car had tire blankets on this morning, and it's low 60s, still a little bit of a chill in the air. Guess which car? Teddy Burns now into the lead, and I'm thinking that confidence, if nothing else, the confidence to go into turn 1 that aggressively, but it's coming back at him right now.
Yeah, look at that move by Couch. Just swept through, then comes across and dissuades in the outside move here. This could be pretty impressive by Kotek. He makes it work around the outside. Gonna lead up into turn 6, and just that quickly, Theodore Burns, third, lead to third. That fast. And what a move by Jonathan Kotek around the outside of turn 5.
Yeah, Kotek, the veteran in this field, obviously he's all of his runoffs, gold medals, all of his starts, his podiums. He knows how these races are raced and won. And right now he knew that turn 1 move was just a temporary thing. He was going to be able to get that back.
Ooh,
now let's get the work. Yeah.
Outside of 8, getting together, and looked like they may have got away with it, but he's going to lose an awful lot of ground here. But, that's exposed. That's open wheel racing.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe if that was Ferguson.
Yeah, it looked like it. Possibly.
Could have been, yeah. It's one of those orange Pipers back there.
Meanwhile, through the kink the first time, the damp spot on the entry to the kink has gone away, not so much the exit. You can still see there's moisture in that curb. You want to stay away from that for a while here. Just takes this part of the track from that overnight rain so long to dry because it's so protected. Big move in the back, down the inside, in too hot, running way wide, gathers it up. That Piper got in really, really quickly there. Great job of saving it as Kotek continues to lead from Couts and then, again, Theodore Burns.
Yeah, still wondering if it's still a bit of cold tires and cold brakes out there at this time. Coming down the first time, cold track because it's all shadowed by the trees down there in the Kettle Bottoms into Canada, and that plays a part for these guys the first time on the brakes in there.
Well, and this track really hard on brakes, and if they're not warmed up properly. And right in the mix now is Sebastian Mateo Naranjo, I think, is up into 4th. And, what an opening lap for him, having started in 7th. And we got 2 pairs of 2. Kotek leads in. Burns goes right around the outside of Couts. And Naranjo getting a great exit out of turn 1. Dives down to the inside. I don't think he's going to make it all the way up into 2nd, but he's going to be in 3rd. And look at Burns there trying to open up that exit a little bit. Looks like he may have got a pretty good run. And we've got a 4-car draft. This should be crazy down into turn 5.
And 4 cars turning into 2x2 here as they come underneath the cheese bridge there, coming down towards 5. It does look like Kotek still has a nose ahead, but it may not last long as his buddy Mateo is coming on the outside.
Big wiggle there by Kotek on the brakes, and I think Naranjo there in the yellow car saw it and opted to give him a little bit of room. He's tucked right in behind. And you said buddy here. That's an interesting story, isn't it? Because Kotek actually coaches the young man Naranjo, and now Naranjo is using some of that experience and coming right up to challenge the professor.
Yeah, and that's great because they're obviously they're working together. They've got the same crews prepping those two cars, and now we'll see if they actually work together a little bit, or does Mateo go up there and try and push Kotek and his mentor a little bit. But this train, we thought maybe was going to be a 3-car pulling away. That's not the case.
No, not at all. And that was one of the things that, Kotek obviously looking at opportunity here, making that switch to that slipperier chassis and going back to that Ford engine. Actually went, after the runoffs last year, went and ran a Kent Ford-powered car in the huge Walter Hayes Trophy for Formula Fords in England, and came back having been sold on it. But now Naranjo pinching him just a little bit as Kotek needed to defend just a tad on the black number 81 of Burns. And we've got ourselves, this is just a fabulous pack here. 6 cars covered by the proverbial blanket here as we come through Billy Mitchell. You can see Burns just defending a little bit, knowing that Couch might be willing to take a little run in that absolutely chrome silver entry as they head up the hill here. And this is where that exit of 14, Larry, in the draft is so crucial. Look at Burns.
It is. And now that the 6-car train, with the way these guys in the front, they're sort of fighting a little bit. They're not playing friendly leapfrog. In fact, it's going to go at least 3 wide here into 1.
Couch with that multiple car draft just pops outside, has so much speed. Now he's got to do the rim shot. Gets a little crossed up as he exits 1, but hangs on to it. Goes to the lead. Burns, meanwhile, going to take a dive down to the inside of Kotek. And he's going to go underneath Couch. Couch saw him at the last second. Gave him just enough room, but that pinched the exit for Burns. And I think now Kotek and Naranjo are going to be able to maybe go through. What might help Burns is he tucked right in behind here. Here we go. There's Naranjo popping to the outside. Didn't have enough of a head of steam built up. But look at this. Couch, he came across the line in 4th. Leads into 5. Yeah,
well, keep your eye on Tazio Stefanelli. He's also, I think, joined this group. It was 6 when they came out of 14. We're now up to 7 in this pack, as Stefanelli actually turned the quickest lap of the race so far, 2 laps into this thing. And so now it's a 7-car field. It's just going to be a bit of this dicing here for quite a while, I think.
You know what? It has always astounded me why this class doesn't have bigger numbers, because I think it's always been one of my favorite classes because it is all about mechanical grip and driver skill. There's no arrow here other than being slippery. Yeah. And if you're fast in this, you can wheel it. And it is a great development category. And I wish the numbers would come back to where they were back in the day, as they say, because this class used to be massive, and it is some of the best racing going on this track. With the drafting, it's spectacular.
Yeah, I like to call this pure racing. Yes. Pure in the fact that it's just you and 4 wheels. Everyone's running generally the same sort of equipment here, and you just get what is pure racing. What comes out in this is the personalities of the drivers. This is showing it. Teddy Burns is known as a bit of an aggressive driver. There he is, making the pass into Canada.
Down to the inside, into Canada corner. Ooh, the wiggle. Got onto that curb. It's a little damp. The back end snapped out. Couch going to go outside at Billy Mitchell. And again, as you said, these guys know Teddy is an aggressive racer, and Couch said that might not be really the time for me to do that, and tucked back in, which might give now Kotek and Naranjo a really nice run out of 14, because there's no question there that Couch breathed it for just a second, and these momentum cars, that can really park you a little bit here. And let's see what happens. Here we go. Kotek taking the look, 3 wide. And Couch coming across the cover, and he knows he can make that outside line work here, and does it again. Turns in, wide entry through 1. That curb at the exit there looks like it's a little bit in better shape. And so Couch making that work. Kotek coming down the inside, straight to the apex, and Teddy Burns giving him just enough room to let it roll around the outside just a little bit here with a little bit more speed. But here comes Naranjo, and he has got Stefanelli and Ferguson right there as well. This pack is fabulous.
Yeah, this pack has definitely grown with Stefanelli up into that group. Demetrios also now in the 7th spot in that big group up front. Nathan Down has sort of joined, so I think we're up to about 8 cars. Every time I look, there's another car following in this pack. I think the whole field now is in one shot.
I think so. Look at that wiggle there. This is great. Well, they qualified extremely closely, and they were racing that way as well. Qualifying in this class was kind of fascinating to watch. Just seeing people try and pair up and draft and work. You have to do that here.
Well, so qualifying for these guys, they qualified with the F6s on Tuesday and Thursday. They got their own session on Wednesday. So what you found was Tuesday, Thursday was a bit of broken up. There were some full course yellows thrown in there. Wednesday was their day, and that's where you saw like everyone basically got a lap in, were able to get a couple in, but nobody was able to kind of refine that with a second or third day of good qualifying session. So that's why I think part of this tight field. But now it's showing up in the racing, as tight as this is, with your pole sitter Couts there still kind of leading the way. But again, we just saw this a lap ago where we saw Burns go down the inside. Let's see if he does it again.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, that exit curb at the kink has a lot of water still tucked in the crevices. Here we go. Burns, this is what he did last time. You called it. Dives to the inside of Couts. Watch on the exit. He stays off of that very rough and sodden curbing out there, if you will. So he continues to lead Couts. And then, of course, Naranjo doing an absolutely incredible job here as he continues to run right up at the sharp end of things. Just to give you a little, even though this is essentially Naranjo's first ever start in the runoffs, listen to what he did in Super Tour competition this year. 13 starts, won 11 of them, was never out of the top 5, and had 11 poles. So the kid is for real. And here he comes, looking up the inside, but look at that huge move by Tazio Stefanelli. Came across the line in 4th, settles into 2nd by the time they turn into 1. Stefanelli is on a charge.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge move there. I believe it was his father, Tony, that helped develop the halo that's on the car in front of him in Calvin Couts. So I'm sure these guys know each other pretty well. And they're about to meet a little bit side by side, maybe shake hands here going into 5. A little high five, probably not, as they're going down into the back straight.
This is just extraordinary racing, and getting some notes from some people that are watching our coverage that absolutely loving the battles. And here we go. Here, big lunge here again. Down into that turn, number 5 by the number 80 of Naranjo. And I think this is the first time in this race he's actually gone to the outright lead as he now controls it over Teddy Burns. Calvin Couch sitting back there from the pole in that 4th spot right now. That move by Tazio Stefanelli broke things up a little bit, and he's looking for more.
Yeah, what I'm impressed here is the patience of the 4-time gold medalist, Jonathan Kotick, right now. He's not fighting. He's not pushing around anybody. He's just settling in, and I think that's that experience, maturity that he has to just say, you know what, I don't need to be leading every lap. I'll let the kids do it.
Did you see Naranjo there? Big wiggle under massive load through the carousel. That's going to scrub a little speed. I don't think Burns had enough of an opportunity to do anything with it. He just stayed in. But again, Naranjo running way over that wet exit curb. That's a big risk here. And he is just staying with that preferred line down in here. And here we go. It is going to be Burns moving to the lead. And Stefanelli thinking about it as Naranjo giving everybody a fair amount of room. But look at this scrap behind. Couts now under attack by our pole sitter, Kotick.
And I suspect Couts will probably slip in as he does. Doesn't need. He's a little bit more the conservative type, but I tell you what, they're still going 2 by 2 here around through 14. Now let's see if Kotick makes a bit of a move. He sees a couple of car length gap. He's got behind him. I think that's Stefanelli there right behind him. So see if those two stay in line to each other and try to make a bit of a move up towards the front pair here on this long straightaway.
And they do not. You can see Stefanelli pops out, which is going to give this leading duo even a little bit more mojo there. And to make that pass, Kotick had to take a tighter line, so it's just going to cost him a little bit of exit speed. Again, these cars so momentum driven, and now Kotick, I'm sure, gave a hand signal to Stefanelli that said, no, get back in line here. Let's catch these guys, then let's race. And Calvin Couts, in that, I just love the livery on that car. That chrome silver with the orange is spectacular. And he's, as you said, like Kotick was, playing a pretty cagey, calm game here. Kotick not waiting for it now. diving down to the inside and going from third to first underneath Burns, and the black Piper with that blue and red striping. Naranjo sits third, Stefanelli fourth, and Couch just laying in wait.
Yep, and exactly. He's just being patient back there. He's seeing all the movement in front of him. You can be sitting 3, 4, 5, 10 car lengths maybe and be just fine. Wait till we get to about lap 10, and then it's going to get even more interesting. If you think this is exciting, just wait until we get down to the last 3 laps. It's going to be crazy. But Kotick now maybe wanted to make sure, stay up in the fight. In my opinion, these kind of races, halfway through the race, you want to be in the top 5. 3 laps to go, you'd like to be in the top 3. And then on last lap, anywhere in the top 3, maybe even in third. These guys might all be thinking that chess match, those multiple moves ahead to see what position do they need to be in when we get down to the 5, 4, and 3 laps to go.
Did you notice Kotick running a little wider line into the carousel and then just diamonds it a little bit more as he exits to try and get a drive out. But here we go. Burns, once again, he loves this move, just tucks in all the way through the carousel, and the kink pops as they get midway through the run down Kettle Bottoms and into Canada Corner. Ran a little wide there. Kotick getting an opportunity, and also a big wide run there. I didn't catch that number. Was that Jay Messenger?
Might have been Ferguson. He's in that black and orange Piper. He and Constantino are both running those, so it may have been one of those guys.
Meanwhile, here is your scrap for the lead. Burns, a little bit more of a lead than he's had here. Kotick hoping at this point that Naranjo just gets right up there and gives him that little bit of a shove. And Kotick says, actually, I don't think I need it. Got an absolutely great run that time down to the inside of Burns. Way tight to the wall there, trying to break the toe.
Interesting.
Now comes across. Look at this. Thought for a second we might see a big move there by the number 80 of Naranjo, but he decided to ease out of it. But did you see Naranjo's head there?
Yeah.
He was looking everywhere. Yep. Where is everybody? I don't want to cause an incident here.
Well, that was interesting for Kotick.
That is credible.
Kotick went to the inside down the straightaway, and as soon as he was clear, rather than continue to give the draft to the guys behind him, he went all track left before he got to the brakes. A, gives him a better run through 1, and B, he stops giving the draft to the 2 that were following up down the inside. So I think it's fascinating for Kotick. He's thinking about all those things at the same time. As you said, all of them looking.
Look at this move to the outside, the attempt by Naranjo, and he's going to maybe get Kotick around the outside. What a move by Naranjo as he went from deep into that second spot. And then we got this crazy pack heading up into turn 6. You almost have to let things settle here. And for just an instant here, things calming down just a smidge. We're going to step away, but we will be right back.
Okay, track day checklist. Let's go. You got your gloves, your helmet, water, snacks, sunscreen, your car is prepped and ready to go. Oof, forgot your track day insurance, didn't you? If you want to be covered for the whole value of your car, you need high-performance driver education coverage through Hagerty. We'll get you a policy for track days, time trials, and more in less time than it took you to apply that sunscreen. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Choose joy. Choose the road. Choose your people. Choose your shot. Take it. Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. That's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage of the Run for the Gold in Formula F here at America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Our coverage presented by Mazda, and this duel continues. Ferguson, now Kotick ducks to the inside in that red Swift. Piper and Swift, two of the slipperiest cars out there. And here comes Naranjo taking a peek as well, not able to get it done, and will settle right back into third in that bright yellow Magali as they head down into turn 3. A lot of people don't think a lot about turn 3 here, but it's a pretty important corner because if you get a good run out of 3, it sets you up beautifully down into 5.
Yeah, it sets you up into where we measure the trap speed on these cars here as they go past the Sargento Bridge there. Very critical, and 3 is one of those where the pavement's a little bit different camber inside to outside, so very important to be down the inside and get that strong run. But at this point, the draft matters, and you're watching everybody jostling for speed, and here they go again.
Boy, did you see that little edge over by Tazio Stefanelli there to dissuade Kotek, and Kotek reacted to it just enough that Naranjo was able to dive through underneath. So Kotek back into third, and we talk about normally, we're seeing great moves in passing on certain sections of this track. In this class, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere. You can't even blink or you're going to miss some sort of change of position, probably for the lead. What's interesting is, I mentioned a bit ago, Kotek was showing patience, and then he went to the front. I'm going to say it now. Couts is showing patience right now, a lot of it. He's sitting in sixth. He is not trying to make moves on anybody, and I think that's strategic. He may be kind of leaving his tires as they are, letting the car just sort of settle in. Now we're into that last 4.5 laps here. Let's see what happens here with someone like Couts, our pole sitter.
And keep in mind, Stefanelli started in the 5th spot in this one. So he has had a very well-judged race thus far. And that's a Spectrum, the lone Spectrum chassis in the field, and doing a nice job right now. Kotek defending and moving over a little bit as Naranjo was going to make a move. And Kotek, he's going to have that tighter entrance in. Burns, who's been such a factor here, sitting back in 4th at this stage. And then it is Couts sitting, as you said, in that 5th spot right now. And look what Stefanelli's doing. Man, did he get a run through Canada and through Billy Mitchell? That's as big a lead as we've seen.
Yeah, I don't know, something perhaps there with Kotek. He maybe chucked up just a little bit to allow that gap, but I think that gap will be gone by the time we get into 1, and I think Kotek's bringing friends. I think he's got Naranjo, he's got Burns right behind him, Ferguson's right there, and then it's going to be Couts. So we're going to see all 6 nose to tail here in just about another 200 feet.
Well, I wonder if that was that early turn-in Kotek made into Canada, and it just nulls your momentum exiting. Couts diving down to the inside into 1, but there was nobody home, and that's going to cost him in terms of his exit speed just a little bit. That may have been something he was just trying for later in the race. You are going to do the exploring, but the one thing we've seen here, that move by Tazio, that's the first time we haven't had turn 1 under contest for the lead. Yeah. You get a gap like that can help, but as you said, now by the time we get down into turn 5, very easily Stefanelli could be back in 3rd.
Yeah, not only was turn 1 not in contention, there was nobody even close when he caused start-finish. That's got to be playing into his mind to say, I need to lead coming out of Canada.
But you see Burns, he actually had to brake, or he was going to get right into the back of Naranjo there, and that's going to allow Couts up the outside. Couts drops his rights right at about turn-in. You can see them drop into the grass, and a little bit of schmutz flew up, and he recognized that immediately. Don't go around the outside now with wet, maybe dirty tires, and just got back onto the pavement, checked up a little bit. That is, he's a young guy, obviously, but he's learned a lot from Dad.
Yeah,
no question about that.
And 6 is a slippery corner anyway. That is definitely a dangerous move to be picking up any kind of dirt into right side tires going into it. But now let's see how they do as they come around the carousel here, working lap 9. Let's see if this time Couts decides to try to pick up a position or two before they get to Canada, start working his way up. As I said, I'd like to be with 4 laps to go in the top 3, certainly by 3 laps to go in the top 3. Right now, Couts is sitting in 5th.
And again, you can see that little different line Kotek takes entering the carousel, and at the end of it, because he gets it straightened out, he gets a great run. But I'll tell you what, Stefanelli is absolutely flying, carried a huge amount of speed through the kink and got down to the inside easily down here. And this is where he seems to be absolute. Look at the ground he makes up. Exit of Canada through Billy Mitchell, and then gets this solid run through 14, and everybody behind him is scrapping, and he's got a comfortable 5-car length lead.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if that Honda is feeling really good this morning. A good grunt coming out of Canada, and that's helping him versus the Ford behind him of Kotek. But I also wonder if Kotek's just sort of playing it easy right now, certainly with his good buddy Mateo there right behind him. Maybe they were working a little bit together on this one, but Teddy Burns was so aggressive early. He's also seemed to have toned that back a little bit. I gotta figure he's going to amp this up here. He's not working lap 10.
Now look at Naranjo as there we go, watching this unfold. You can see Kotek made that move, was able to get through on Stefanelli, and Naranjo taking advantage of it, jumps up into 2nd. Stefanelli now 3rd, Burns in 4th, and here comes Couts. Got a great run through the exit of 3, and he's going to maybe be able to do something here. One thing I wanted to ask you about Stefanelli, he'd been laying back for a little bit here. Possible that he had a setup on his tires in terms of pressures that's made them come good a little bit later in the race.
Oh no, we got contact.
Big, almost going over was the 88 of Couts. I didn't catch who the tire that he got into was.
Not sure if that was possibly Constantino that was back there, but yeah, big contact. He's still sitting, I think, there at turn 5, but pack moves on. That's your pole sitter now, kind of deep in this pack.
Yeah, it changes up the dynamic here. And that little bit of contact, it created that gap here.
Yeah.
And we get a report that Couch is indeed back underway. Don't know, may have knocked the alignment out a little bit. That was a pretty hard slap, but good to know he's able to continue. But now these two, Stefanelli and Kotek, have a little bit of a gap that they can work with here possibly.
Just a little bit, but I think right behind him is Teddy Burns. I think is one of those cars there, and I think he's got some pretty good straight line speed as well. We'll see if he's able to catch these two by the time they get to Canada. If not, I think by the time we get around start finish, we're going to have ourselves about a 4-car pack.
Oh, here comes Kotek.
There you go.
Takes the look, exactly what you were talking about. He got the run, got that draft to work, and knifes down. But he has that tight entry and then pinches it on the exit a little bit, and that's where Stefanelli absolutely seems to make some hay here, but didn't work this time. Let's go back and take a quick look at what happened down at 5, Larry.
Yeah, let's watch him. He's going to be just a side-by-side there, actually, with Naranjo.
Oh, with his apprentice.
Yeah, so Naranjo there, actually, they just went, it's just, not much room to break down there.
Yeah.
It's tough going on that downhill braking.
Actually, Naranjo is the apprentice of Kotek, not Couch. But nonetheless, now you can see Kotek trying to go over and break the draft, and just that quick, Stefanelli. And is that Ferguson who fought his way up? What a run!
Yeah, Ferguson, a heck of a run there and got the run around Teddy Burns. Burns still in that 4th spot, as now we're down to these last 3 laps. This is where the true chess match really develops.
Yeah, you can see there, look at that. Burns take a look. Stefanelli eased over to defend a little bit. And that's a great tactic here, because we talked about how important it is to get a run through 3.
Yep.
You move over and get that guy to defend just for an instant, slows down his exit a bit.
Yeah, watch these next 2 laps before we get to final lap, though. Everyone's positioning coming out of Canada, especially watching Kotek. Can he defend coming out of Canada all the way to start finish or not?
You see there, Kotek, that was really a brilliant job, as Burns was thinking about doing a 3-wide dive to the inside, and Kotek moved over just enough to not give him enough room to do that. That was really savvy racecraft.
Yeah, Stefanelli as well kind of shut the door there to make sure that he stayed in behind Kotek on that.
All right, we got a 5-car train right now, and the guy that's really lost in this a little bit, that car back in 6th, just outside of it at this stage. But let's see how this plays out. That's in the Swift and Nathan Down, I think. But meanwhile, Kotek leading through. That's the 80 of Naranjo.
It is, yeah.
All right, here's Couch backing after it, but way, way down the order. That's a tough day, a break and day for the pole sitter here. So you can see that halo. That might be the future of this class. But right now, the battle is at the front with Kotek, Stefanelli, Ferguson going for the medals here. Here we go. And Kotek, what a run, obviously, through the carousel and kink for Stefanelli back in front. And did he bring Burns or Ferguson with him? Or is that Burns?
That should be Burns with him right there. So, yeah, Stefanelli and I believe Burns now. I believe that puts Ferguson back, I think, in the 4th spot.
And Naranjo taking a run down the inside of 14. That tightened it up a little bit. He's going to be under attack once again. But look at this duo up front, Stefanelli and Ferguson. And they're drafting together. And Kotek's trying to do this on his own. Is he? Yeah, he is. He's close enough. He's going to get the double toe. And Burns pops. Kotek moved to the inside as well. Kotek is going to get a great run at the exit of 1 potentially here. Wow, this is great. This is high-speed chess.
Yeah,
I love this.
With 2 to go, that's exactly. These guys want to stay in that front 3. They've got to be real careful not to let the next 3 catch them. I don't know if they're thinking about that deep right now. They're just thinking about each other. But it's that next 2, which I think at this point is Ferguson and Naranjo are sitting back there trying to do what they can, maybe even work together a little bit to try to catch the front 3 and make something out of this. There's only 3 podium spots, but there's 5 cars in the running.
And here we go. Burns down to the inside. And Stefanelli waits as long as he can to come over. Burns runs wide. That's going to give Stefanelli the run up the hill into 6. And you can see Stefanelli was worried there about Kotek, but then when Burns ran wide, that changed the dynamic. Burns thinks about it into 7. Wasn't quite enough in position. Does anybody try a big lunge here down into 8, this downhill braking zone? Not yet.
So I'll be interested to see here watching Kotick. I think he wants to be leading out of Canada on the last lap. I wonder if he'll try that here and see if it works and then give the lead back up and try to do it again on the last lap. Obviously, that's multiple chest moves down the line here, but keep your eye on Kotick here. What does he do from the kink down to Canada on this lap?
Yeah, sometimes you explore, okay, where do I want to be and when at this stage?
We've seen his pace coming out of Canada seems to be down on what Stefanelli and Burns can do. So Kotick may think he has to lead coming out of Canada or he'll lose it.
And Naranjo right now is fast lap of the race, so we're still in it. Here we go. This is the move Burns absolutely loves, executes it perfectly. Watch for Stefanelli to try and cut back, and Kotick gets the great cutback underneath move. Is it enough? He's through, and Naranjo might be making the move as well, and just that quick, Stefanelli drops to 4th. Here we go. Out of 14, and look at the margin Burns has. Talk about timing it perfectly here as he runs up the hill, and now the draft-breaking bob and weave is underway.
Yeah, so really amazing there to watch Kotick do that move after Canada as they got toward Bill Mitchell to be able to take the second spot, but it wasn't giving him an opportunity to take the lead. So he's got to be real careful about the last lap, his position, and everybody else now saw how that played out. If you're Burns, you're Naranjo, you're probably thinking, I think I can lead and take the finish if I can lead out of Canada. Everyone else, I don't know.
Yeah, and look at that move by Kotick right around the outside into the lead at turn 1. Burns in second. Here comes Naranjo on Stefanelli. They were pretty much dead even, and Naranjo was able to slide through and pick that spot up. And here we go. Last time down the moraine sweep into one of the best overtaking areas. Who has positioned and who has the bravado to make this one work? Look at the bob and weave by Kotick. And you can argue I'm trying to break the draft. Others will say, well, yeah, you're just blocking. And look at this, side by side. Burns tried it around the outside, Kotick having none of that. And look at this, Stefanelli now on a big defensive move on Naranjo as well.
Yeah, nobody wants to give this up here. I think everyone's positioning for how they are coming out of Carousel. I think we're going to possibly see a 4 or even we may see 4 wide with one deciding, let me watch how the front 4 do this going into Canada. But look at these guys. They're all just trying to set up. Very interesting that they've let Kotick be the front car.
Yeah.
And I suspect he may be about to get steamrolled right now going into Canada in just a couple of seconds.
Well, this is where look at the line he runs. A little wider into the carousel and then just pins it down to the inside. And look at the gap it gives him.
Yeah.
He just straightens the wheel out earlier and is able to really fly. And this is where he needs a massive run through here, because this is the area that Teddy Burns absolutely loves. And hit right there. That was Couts. Up. No, that was Burns. Up and over the back. Sorry about that. That was really frightening. That was on the back of Kotick. You can see damage there. Oh boy, this is all up for grabs here. Stefanelli in the best position right now, having inherited that second spot. But Naranjo, look at that, diving to the inside. And I don't know, that's literally like having an anchor out a little bit for Kotick. But he gets through 14 with enough of a head of steam. He might pull this off.
Yeah, the move by Naranjo may have slowed down a little bit, but it's not going to slow down Kotick.
And look at this, down to the inside. This is a 3-way scrap for second. Wow, it goes. That was unbelievable what happened on that last lap here. Stefanelli second, Naranjo third. That's going to be your podium. Then Nathan down up 4 spots. And there is Burns heading into the pits. Huge damage on the right side of that car.
The speeds are so high. They're all trying to fight for that position to be able to make that move into Canada, and sometimes not quite enough there for a 3 wide there. That's an unfortunate way to end the day for Teddy Burns.
Yeah, what a absolutely scrappy drive he put in here as we're watching Eric Poulsen working his way around on the final lap here. But, that's the thing. Open wheel cars, and these, the car itself is so narrow, and those wheels really are out there a bit. And sometimes just that little bit of misjudgment. You think you're clear, the guy in front of you has a little moment. It just happens fast is the other part of it. And looking at these guys coming through, Michael Dowden and Robert Gross. And then
get Jay Messenger up in there in that shot as well. A bit of a fight here that might be with Poulsen coming up to the finish.
Coming to the line here. It's a drag race. Back in the pack, and it's still, look at how close coming across the line here. Wow. Poulsen and Dowden.
Dowden and Messenger, I believe, is who those
Messenger,
two were.
yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, Poulsen had already eased through. So Dowden getting it by almost nothing.
Look at the exhaust actually on that
got
Kent motor.
bent.
So the Hondas don't have the long pipe. That is a Ford unique thing. The exhaust pipe comes straight out, and it looks like perhaps that Teddy Burns got even all the way into that pipe.
It sure does.
Amazing that this car didn't seem to show any issues. Then getting to the finish line helped a little bit with the move that Naranjo and Stefanelli were doing on each other in 14, but Kotick.
Damage at the back that was a pretty good wallop, obviously, if you're up on top bending that exhaust pipe. And the good news is out of this is that Burns didn't go over because oftentimes you catch enough air back there.
And drove the car up pit lane to get the car back on three wheels. So that's a great sign.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'll tell you, now you see why I love Formula F. And today, at least for the win, it's Formula Ford.
Yep, it is a Formula Ford.
He
2
did it
years
with
Fords.
with an old Swift chassis.
Yep, and he went to this year thinking that there may be here an advantage, and he drove it. Honestly, at the end of the day, it really wasn't even the Ford that did it. It was Kotick. It was the patience. It was the maturity. It was I'm going to sit back in fifth and sixth, and then I'm going to work the racecraft as we go, learning with every corner. Where can he do it? Where can't he? He had that lead coming out of Carousel down to the stretch here, down, and he just was able to hold that lead to the finish.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to me about. You can see the results here on the bottom as they come by. Kotick, Stefanelli, and Naranjo on the podium. And again, Naranjo, a rookie in the category, and Stefanelli, a rookie in the category. It's amazing here. There are 1, 2, 3. There are 5 rookies out of the 105 rookies here at the runoffs, and its 60th running across all classes. 5 of them are here alone. And you know what? That lower tray, Larry, that comes off the back of the Swift, that got damaged as well. So, yeah, lots wrong with that car, but apparently none of it affecting the performance at all. And Kotick, that was just a fabulous drive. Lots of experience, and a 5th gold medal here. That's pretty darn impressive.
He has had that target on his back for a while, and he wears it well for sure, and he's going to have a couple of runoffs rookies there on the podium with him. Very, very cool podium for what was a spectacular race.
Oh, it was absolutely phenomenal. Formula F. I really hope more people get back into this class and grow it because, the racing is spectacular when you've got super talented drivers in cars that are this equal in performance with narrow tires, so it's all driver feel. It's spectacular
it's the
racing.
nut behind the wheel, as they say.
Yeah, it truly is. And man, did they put on a show. Absolutely fantastic. And again, for Kotick, a 5th gold medal. This one took a while, as you said, for him to get it.
Yep, a couple of years there. He's been chasing to try to get this 5th one. He worked extremely hard to go back into the Swift and to work on developing the Kent motor to work this year. And great work. It all pays off. But it was the racecraft again that really shines and what led to this for him.
Yeah, and just look at the back of this car, all the stuff that's dinged and scuffed and dropped.
The battery charging cable kind of dangling down there as well.
Thank you. All right, but here he is out of the car, and for the 5th time, as that helmet comes off, he is going to be getting a beautiful gold medal draped around that neck.
Love you.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Family. This is nothing about the runouts. It's family. It's all family here. There it is, a 5th gold medal presented to Jonathan Kotick, and of course, when you run on Hoosiers, you get the Hoosier tie. Let's get it right down. So I think he's ready to Hayward.
Jonathan, it looked like that last lap you were not where you wanted to be going into turn 1, and it went super defensive. What was the strategy?
I knew I just needed to keep the car out front. I studied 2020's video multiple times and just re-ran it through my head. Okay, what can I do better this year? And made sure that I kept the car out front as best as possible. Took it easy the first half. Everyone was pretty antsy, so let them go have fun for the first half and then let my Hoosier tires come in and got the win.
Talk about the run into Canada, the contact. What did you see? What did you feel?
I was just driving my racing line, and next thing I know, I feel a thump, and then I look behind me, and Teddy ran in the back of me. So I know multiple times he had contact with me on track. I gave him plenty of room, and he would crash into me. So that seemed like what happened. But I mean, hard racing. I mean, we're here for the national championship, but good job to everybody, and can't thank my second family, which is Jeff and Jessica Busher. Thank you. Also Jim Little with Driver Services. Massive thank you to them. Can't thank everyone else that's been on board. Carbotech Brakes, Hoosier Tires. Those guys have been really great to me. Also want to thank Ivy Engines, Swift as well. Really great being on board with those guys this year. Switching things up from last year, and really proud of how everything went. And thank you to Jeremy Shaw as well, Team USA. That was really great to be part of, and happy to carry the name in Formula Ford. I'll be going back over to Silverstone and Brands Hatch this year as well. So really excited about all that. And Jeremy Grenier, thank you too. You've been a part of this massively. Johnny Baker, and also Anders Crown. So we have become the all-time winning Formula Ford driver. So that's pretty cool. 5 national championships, 1 in FRP, so it's pretty exciting stuff.
Well, congratulations to you. A very calm and composed winner interview here, but take a look at this hand. Let's see, how still is that hand? A little bit of a shake still going. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's that energy, that's that adrenaline flow in there. And, you know, he's all those people he was thanking, a number of them were with Team Pelfrey, who he runs with in FRP, and just an absolutely fabulous story. And, of course, he got to go, we're running the Walter Hayes Trophy with Team USA last year. This year it sounds like he gets to do it again, and the festival. So what a run here for Jonathan Kotek. And let's take a quick look here. Kotek with the gold. Stefanelli and Naranjo are second and third. We'll be hearing from them shortly. Nathan Down up a bunch of spots, up into the fourth spot. Antonio Costantino up into fifth. That's your top 5. Dimitrios Constantinidis in the 6th spot. Calvin Couts, who had that big moment down in turn 5, in 7th. Teddy Burns, bigger moment heading into Canada Corner in 8th. Eric Polson in 9th. And Michael Dowden in that great battle to the line, just pipping Jay Messenger for 10th. Robert Gross in the 12th spot, and Ferguson, who had a problem early, is back in 13th.
After the race, Kotek was issued a penalty and moved to 8th place. This promoted Stefanelli to 1st, Naranjo to 2nd, and Down to 3rd.
Let's go right back down for our 2nd and 3rd place medal winners with Hayward.
Taz, that looked like an absolute dogfight. Y'all ran green to checker, no full course cautions. How satisfying was this race for you?
It was amazing. First time ever here at the runoffs, and had best race of my life. Just clean racing, hard racing, but everyone was very fair. Still coming down from the adrenaline, because I led a lot more than I thought I ever would. So,
where did you want to be at the start of the last lap?
2nd. Right up on the front, because way too many times I've won by 3 feet in various races here. This draft, especially in this weather, it's the key.
Well, congratulations on the silver. We got Sebastian here with the bronze. Sebastian, how was your race?
The race was chaotic, and I really had so much fun for it. I just want to thank Pelt for giving me a great car and my parents for making this possible. But from my point of view, we just had action-packed from start to finish like we do have in the Pro Series. And to me, it was hard racing but fair racing, and that's what I love most about it. And this is my first runoff, so 3rd place is I'll take it. And I enjoyed this so much. It's probably the best race of my life so far. So,
did you have any chance to think about strategy, or was it just reacting the whole race?
Just don't be in first on the last lap. So, unfortunately, due to other circumstances before that made sure that wasn't possible. So, all I did was just send it and hope I can deny Taz the win for Jonathan.
Well, congratulations. 3 happy podium finishers down here on pit lane.
And what a race they put on, Larry. It was spectacular start to finish, and this class certainly delivered. There you see Couts and Kotek on the front row, and we got the green, and it was phenomenal from that point.
It really was corner to corner, every straightaway a pass. You can see it's 2x2, and there's that contact that went into 5 that took Couts out of the running for the top spot. Interesting comment there for Mateo to talk about that last lap. Of course, we have the contact here just before the last corner on the last lap, but that move that Mateo made to inside of Stefanelli allowed Kotek to get away. That's his buddy. That's his coach that he works with, and it leads to a 5th gold medal for Charlie Kotek.
Yeah, look how close this was for 2nd and 3rd and 4th of the line by absolutely nothing. It was great racing. Big event for Kotek as well. He also was the Hawk Breakthrough winner, making the biggest gain from day 1 to day 2 and getting a set of pads. And I want to mention Robert Gross was our Sunoco 260 award winner. So big day of racing and absolutely battle-scarred champion here in Formula F with that Ford. Pretty special stuff. For Larry and for Hayward Wagner, just a big thank you to all of you for tuning in the Run to the Gold at the SCCA Runoffs 60th running. Our coverage presented by Mazda. We'll see you next time, folks.
Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. Way out there. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Choose joy. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.